I've read 24 books so far this year, and this number is just funny to me because it is 2024. So I thought it is fitting to share my top 5 reads for this year. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you? Have you been? I missed you. It is so hard to believe that we are already almost halfway through the year. As I am filming this video, this is the middle of May, and I just cannot believe it. I don't know how to process this information and how to process this situation. I have read 24. I don't know why I have to think about it. 24 books this year, and I found some truly great books. They are not my all-time favorites, but that's okay. Like, not every single book that we read has to become an all-time favorite and has to change your life. You can still enjoy them and they can still be fun. And I have 5 books here and I want to share in this video that were such a big surprise to me. They came at me out of nowhere and I was like, what's happening? This book is amazing and I did not expect that. So I am here to share those 5 books with you. And if you have not read any of these books, because honestly I don't think that these books are super popular right now on BookTube, then take these as recommendations. But before we get to discussing the books, hey, my name is Zsuzsi. I am the petite reader and I make weekly bookish videos. And if this is something that sounds good to you and you like any of my other videos, then I think that you should definitely subscribe to my channel. You are welcome here. And now let's just get to these 5 books. I will share them and recommend them in the order I read them. I am not ranking these books in any ways. And the very first book that I actually read and finished in 2024, that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And I know what you think. This is 2024. I mean, come on, like, everybody knows about The Cruel Prince. How come that you only read The Cruel Prince in 2024? Like, have you been living under a rock? No, that's not what happened. I just simply resisted reading this book for the longest time because I thought, foolishly, because I didn't listen to others who just kept recommending this book to me, I thought that it's just another YA romantasy face story. I was so wrong. Okay? I have absolutely no issues coming to the internet and admitting I was wrong. This is one of the best YA fantasy romantasy books that I've ever read in my life. And I am obsessed. I am obsessed particularly with this book, but I am more obsessed with this whole Elfhame universe that Holly Black created. Now, I know that I don't really need to introduce The Cruel Prince to many people out there, but just for those of you who don't know, and just to describe the plot in a very simple way, this book is about Jude, who is a mortal girl, and she is living with her sisters in the Fae kingdom of Elfhame, and she is trying to survive there. Now, this book got me with the prologue, because what happens in the prologue, because this book basically starts with a murder, I was like, wait, Holly Black, like what's happening? Okay, I'm listening, girl, I'm listening. How can somebody start a book with a murder? Like, Holly Black, basically in every single one of her books, she traumatizes her main characters, like literally in the prologue. Like in this book, just like I said, there is a murder, like Jude's father and mother, they are both murdered. Like, bam, 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 we are in Elfhame. And I was like, wait, what's happening? I cannot follow this. Anyways, as stupid as it sounds, I really don't know what this says about me, but I love that prologue. Ooh, I don't know, maybe I should go to therapy. Because, like, anybody who likes this prologue, I don't know, yeah, they should go to therapy. Okay, yeah, that is the conclusion that I'm making in this video. You guys probably know by now that I am very character driven. I like a good plot, of course, like all readers do, but I feel that I am a very character-driven reader, and in this book I adore the characters and how they are portrayed, not only externally, because I think that the Elfhame universe is very vivid, like, you know, the fays, the troll, the pixies, and how, like, everybody externally looks very different. The fae is not just like a creature that looks human with pointed ear. No, they have all these different skin colors, like blue and green, and they have horns and wings and deer legs, and Carden has a tail, and to me, I was like, wow, the Fae in this book is actually, mythologically speaking, is correctly portrayed, and I very much enjoy that. But it's not just about how they look, but how they behave. Like, I just adore this universe. Everybody is so mean, cruel, if you wish. Everybody is conniving, everybody is manipulative, everybody lies, everybody, they hate each other, and I am obsessed with it. There is not one single relationship in this book, and I'm not talking about like necessarily the romantic relationships, but you know, relationship between siblings and the relationship between parents and children. They are all so fake and manipulative, and again, I don't know what it says about me, but I love it. What I also truly adored about this book is that it wasn't a romance. I didn't need a romance, you know, when I picked this book up. There is a romantic subplot, yes, between Jude and Carden, and everybody knows that, but especially in the first book, I don't think that, you know, it is very romance heavy, and I very much felt that these two characters truly hated each other. So talk about haters to lovers, if that is a trope that you like. Read this book. Well, that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is the book that I truly adore. I like The Wicked King and I like The Queen of Nothing. No, scratch that. I actually didn't like The Wicked King because I felt that after like this book, The Wicked King is like, it's not really able to keep up. At least that's my humble opinion, but I really adore The Queen of Nothing and also the other two books in the duology, in the Alfheim duology. So good. And I am not done because there are other books in this universe that I still need to read, but I am pacing it out because I enjoy it so much. But that is The Cruel Prince. This is the first book. And the next book, again, surprised me. That is a graphic novel, Lore Olympus by Rachel Smithy. And I'm not gonna lie, I picked this book up for two reasons. One, the colors. I mean, that blue and that pink are the perfect shades, period. And also, well, I wanted to read a graphic novel because I had never read a graphic novel before in my life, before picking this book up. And also, this book tells the story, the love story of Hades and Persephone, but in more like a modern contemporary setting. And we know that I love Greek myth and I love Greek myth retellings. So I needed to pick this book up. Now, one thing that I want you to know, because when you look at this cover and when you like realize that, oh, it's a love story, whatever, you kind of expect a light and fluffy read. And it is true that this book is very fun and I absolutely adore reading it, but it does get dark. Like the ending of this first book and also in the second book, because I already finished that one as well, there are dark themes, you know. We are actually discussing very serious things, and I would advise you to look trigger warnings up before you pick up this graphic novel. I absolutely adore it, and I have again no idea why and how I didn't know that this book existed, because this is supposed to be like a #1 webtoon comic, and I know that there are other volumes coming out and I cannot keep up. Like, I think that there are 6 volumes published. I've only finished so far 2, so I definitely need to get on it. I recommend. And the next book, I'm not gonna lie, this book was actually a cover buy because I put this book on my TBR again because of the cover and the cover design and the colors, and that is A Dreadful Splendor by B.R. Myers. Wow, what a book this was. I did not expect this book to surprise me the way it did. This book is a gothic murder mystery and a gothic romantic suspense. That's how I would describe it. And I'm gonna say it. Reading this book, to me personally, felt like watching Crimson Peak. I adore that freaking movie, right? This book gave me the same atmosphere, the same vibes and the same feelings. And like, I don't know why, because it's like it's not the same story. Like, I don't want you to go into this book and think that it's anything like Crimson Peak. It's just about the vibes. And if you like that movie or if you like that book, then I think that you should definitely pick this one up because you will not be disappointed. Now, explaining the plot will be a little bit difficult for me, but just bear with me. I will try to do a good job here. But this book is about Genevieve. Genevieve is a fake spiritualist, and everybody knows that she's fake, and it's very dangerous, and she gets into jail, and they want to basically execute her. And then a gentleman who is a lawyer, he saves her, and he's like, I have a master, Lord Pemberton. Oh, I forgot to say, guys, sorry, that this is in a historical setting, okay? And then this lawyer is like, I have this boss, Mr. Pemberton, and he is devastated because his bride committed suicide the night before their wedding and he hasn't been able to move on. So I want you to come with me, perform a seance, and then, you know, help this guy move on with his life, and then I will be your lawyer, and then, you know, I will save your life. So they go and see Mr. Pemberton, and Mr. Pemberton is like, you know what, Genevieve, I know that you're a fake. Like, it's pretty obvious that you're a fake, but I want you to do this seance anyways, because I am convinced that my bride was murdered and I want to find the murderer. And I want you to, during this seance, somehow force the murderer to come forward and they can arrest that murderer. That is the plan. And basically that is what the book is about. Obviously it is more complicated than this. I just don't want to spoil anything, but that is the setting. And I felt that this book had everything. This book had very solid and dramatic gothic vibes, a good mystery, suspense, thrills and chills, and also a really nice romantic subplot, and it was just a good dose of all of those things. So I know that this book is not popular, but if this sounds good to you, then I would totally pick this up. And honestly, again, the cover, just look at that. I think it's fantastic. And I bought this book on sale. This book was $5.99. It was worth it. Oh guys, and the next book on the list, I just freaking adore this book. Regrettably, I Am About to Cause Trouble by Amy McNee. I found this book through Emma from Amy Reads. She was the one who recommended this book and reading this book in one of her reading vlogs, and I was like, I need to pick this book up. And this book got me out of a reading slump, a weeks long reading slump. So I am super grateful for this book. Now, the reason why I wanted to pick this book up and the reason why I like this book so much is because it's a historical book. It takes place in England, 1535, and it is the Tudor era in England, and I'm kind of like obsessed with the Tudor era, not just the Tudors, but the entire era. And King Henry VIII is the king in this book, and Anne Boleyn, who is my absolute queen, she is the queen. So yeah, that is kind of like the setting, historical setting for this book. But listen to this plot, and listen to how the book starts, because everything I am about to say, like, it basically happens in the first couple of pages, so no spoilers here. But the main female character in this book is Maudlin Shaftesbury, or Maud, that is the name that she prefers, so we will call her Maud. And Maud is coming from a rich family. She is a lady, she is super wealthy, and her family, her entire family is super wealthy. And, you know, back in those days, what was expected from women was to get married and then birth as many sons as you can before you die, basically. And that is what Maud's ambition is, because she doesn't know anything else, right? But the problem is that she has a birthmark that's running from her inner thighs up to her stomach. It's huge. And back in those days, they thought that it was a witch's mark. And they are trying to hide it because she is about to get married. Her husband doesn't know about it. He cannot know about it. He wouldn't marry her. So her mother tells her to just hide this birthmark somehow from her husband, because once the marriage is consummated, he cannot divorce her, right? So that's what they are trying to do. But I don't have to say that the wedding night doesn't go as planned, and then Maud kind of forced to flee, and her story begins. And wow. I think there were two things that I really adored about this book. It's not about the setting, though. Yeah, I like the historical setting, but also this book is all about Maud. I think that Maud is an incredibly funny character. Her dialogues, the dialogues that she has in her head, because we do spend quite a lot of time in her head in this book, but also the conversation that she has with others, so fun. It was cracking me up. I laughed out loud reading this book so many times. But Maud, just as a character, is actually very interesting in this book, and I really adored her character arc, because when this book starts out, you know, Maud is very rich lady, and her moral compass is not exactly pointing to north, if you know what I mean. And in this book, she goes on a journey, and obviously she learns so much about life and so much about herself. And the way this book ends, it's just it was beautiful. And again, being a character-driven reader, to me, this book was really enjoyable. Now, this book does have commentary on a lot of social issues like classism, racism, homophobia, sexism, misogyny. It's all included in this book, partially because it is a historical setting, so it's still the 1500s, but you know, it is not the 1500s anymore, but many of us still live in a deeply unfair society that is discussed in this book. So this book is also got depth to it. Again, I think that it was just a perfect mix of everything, and I highly recommend it. Even if you guys do not like historical books, because both of these books are in a historical setting, I still think it's worth to pick them up. I don't think that you would regret them. And the last book, guys, on this list is A Week to be Wicked by Tessa Dare. And I don't know what to say. Historical smut. That's what it is. I only recently discovered Tessa Dare, and I am freaking obsessed. This book is, I think, is the second book in her Spindle Cove series, and my very first Tessa Dare book, Any Duchess Will Do, that is from the Spindle Cove series, and I was obsessed with that book. And this one, I dare to say that it is even better than Any Duchess Will Do, and that is a very big thing to say, because that book changed my life in a way that it showed me that I can actually read historical smut and I can enjoy it. Like, Tessa Dare is my new queen, okay? There is no question that Tessa Dare can make me laugh. When I read a Tessa Dare book, when I pick up a Tessa Dare book, I am in for a good time, and I know that. This book is basically a road trip romance between Minerva, who is a very awkward geologist, so she's a scientist, okay guys, and between Colin, who is our lover boy in this book, and he's somebody who's suffering from PTSD, and they are basically faking an elopement because Colin wants to get out of Spindle Cove. Minerva wants to get out of Spindle Cove because she wants to go to a geology conference held in Scotland, Edinburgh specifically. And Colin reluctantly agrees to take her to Edinburgh. And then on the road, like, you know, certain things happen. They spend a lot of time together. They spend a lot of precious moments together. They get into a lot of shenanigans and also trouble. And there are so many scenes in this book that I still remember, and they still crack me up. It's a fantastic book. Now, this is a very smutty book. We know that Tessa Dare books are super spicy. But in this book, the smut was sold as basically something that the main female character is doing for the sake of science. And I was like, okay. And also, I think that the ending of this book was adorable. I really like the ending of Any Duchess Will Do as well, but I think I like the ending for this book even more. So I cannot wait to pick up another book that is the book of one of the side characters in this one, Minerva's sister Charlotte. I feel like I need to read a Tessa Dare book now every month, or I don't know, maybe every week. Now this is it, guys. This is the... What? Oh. Very good, very good. This is the end of the video. These are the 5 books that I was super keen to discuss with you in this video and to recommend to you in this video. Again, let me know if you've read any of these books. What do you think of these books? Or if you have any recommendations for me based on these 5 books that I absolutely adored. And definitely let me know how your reading year has been so far. Hit share, like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I have a lot of videos coming up. Honestly, I am working on filming and editing 5 videos. There will be a couple of videos about my TBR and reading my physical TBR. We're gonna go to Concord and have a little bit of Little Women trip, and besides that I am working on a couple of recommendation videos as well. I have so many videos and video ideas in my mind, especially for the summer. I will travel a lot in the summer, so yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, then definitely hug that subscribe button. I would like to see you in an upcoming video. And in the meantime, if you want to check out any of my other videos, I will leave them on the screen, probably here and here. And I'll see you soon in an upcoming video. Bye!